Hi, my name is Mom, a podcast about motherhood. Here are your hosts, Jen, Corey, and Kayla.
So we're going to talk about postpartum body issues, but first we want to introduce our guest, who's one of our favorite people. The crazy thing is we met Miss Brittainy Taylor at one of our events.
A year ago.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, a year ago this week.
Yeah.
But it's been a year on...
This is next week on the 19th.
Tomorrow, on the 18th.
He's a friend of
That's
ours.
right.
Tomorrow is our friend-iversary.
It's our
Guys.
anniversary.
Oh my
It's like
gosh,
we're
how
celebrating.
cute.
That's adorable.
But we very quickly were like,
You're
hi,
she's
we
our
don't know you
people.
very well, but we really really like you. Can we hang out more?
Can we hang out more? And then within a year, you're like, you want to go on vacation? Or we want to go on vacation with you?
Well, now you guys will have been on vacation twice in 2 months.
I mean,
Yeah.
I definitely
Very good.
wanted to go with you, but that was totally my husband having a crush on
Yeah, we joked about buying a
Oh,
house
John has a
together
crush on
too,
him?
and I was like, you know what? This would be the one
Yeah.
person I would be roommates again with. Like that would be
Yeah,
it. You know?
it worked really well. And
Yeah.
yeah, John told me, we're going to Florida next week, and John told me, he's like, it was randomly a few hours after he texted PJ, and he was like, hey, PJ's going to Florida with us. Well, and Brittany and River too, I think.
PJ
And I'm
is
like-
Brittany's boyfriend / big daddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who he keeps calling me his wife, so I don't know what's up with that.
That's
I
really
know,
cute,
right?
actually.
That's cute.
That's really cute.
Fine.
Brittany
Right.
Kellogg.
Brittany Kellogg.
That's a
Aww.
cute
I know. I
name.
actually wanted to change my I was like, we can work on the marriage stuff later, but like
I'll
just
go ahead and change my
flying
name.
with a baby without your last name is the most horrific thing I've ever done. in my
I did
life.
that.
I-
Dad.
Oh,
I
right,
have
because
no
you
heart.
gave Riv
I have to do
PJ's
that.
last name.
Yeah, because
That makes sense,
eventually
obviously.
that's down the road,
Yeah.
and like I also wanted him to feel like because we weren't married, we weren't doing this traditional. My family always gave the mom's last name if there was not that marriage,
Oh.
and I felt like that. I mean, we probably know this. Like, dads already feel kind of left out of the ring
Yeah.
anyway, and so I was like,
Yeah.
you know what? One thing I can do to make him feel like he's here and I want him here is to give that last name.
Oh, I
to her.
love that.
So
Well, right before we started recording, we were talking about like, oh, how do you want to be introduced? Because Brittany has this really cool and varied story of being a reality TV star, and you work for Uncommon James now, and you're
Yeah.
also a mom, and you literally said, I don't know how to introduce myself in this life phase, and it's like the epitome of the identity crisis.
That was
You're
our
like,
episode
I-
101. It was like
Yeah.
what the identity crisis of becoming a mom.
You
Right,
say
that's a whole
Brittany
other
Taylor, your for sure title is Mama.
Mama, that's it.
Yeah.
I
Right.
know.
It's the only one that really matters.
It's so funny because like I think it's just like you go on leave from work and you come back and not only everything when you look in the mirror for the first time is just starkly different. And I think what I wanted initially, I remember being afraid of going on leave. Right, I remember
Like
I was like,
someone was
I'm
gonna
gonna
replace
come
you.
back in 2 weeks.
I remember
Yeah.
that.
And
Yep.
I'm gonna do this and it's gonna be fine, and you know, because I didn't want to lose that, and I'm so scared of the financial aspect about being a parent that when she came, it was like, actually what I'm more scared about is not being present, and
Yeah.
money will come and we'll figure this out, but not that I'm not as ambitious, because I still have 4 projects going on at the same time. It's just that if it can't fit around mom, then it doesn't work anymore.
Right. That's
Yeah.
a great attitude.
Yeah, but then that leaves you with like, well, then what am I actually doing? Like, what do I want to be? Who do I want to be representative of? And I just
You might not
don't
know
know
for a
right now.
minute.
Yeah.
You
It might
know?
take a while.
yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing at all. Like, it's just, I'm 2.5 years down the road. I don't know what I'm doing.
Except you always are like that. You go from, in a good way.
Yeah.
You're a serial entrepreneur. You go from thing to
I
thing
did
in a
just
great
start
way.
Yeah.
And she just started a company like, what, a month
Yeah,
ago?
your
So
title is entrepreneur.
that is your
hands
thing.
down.
So
Yeah.
so I think you feeling like that, although you clearly recognize the mom component is very different, I think that's also you. Like just
Yeah.
a lot of things.
I will say, like, part of that identity crisis for me is I went from entertainer for so long.
Yeah.
And then so entrepreneur, although it's not new, it's been the past 8 years, but it hasn't been,
Do you have a hard time accepting that role?
yes.
Because I feel like, okay, so I'm saying that because one of the things about like when I was younger, I was a model, right? And then I was like, I don't want to be called a model because it just sounds like, oh, I'm a model, you know? And not that it is, but just in my brain it did.
It sounds like influencer.
Right. Same way. When people are like, you're an influencer. No, I'm not an influencer, you know? But yeah, do I have brand deals and do I, you know, yeah, so technically I am an influencer. Entrepreneur in the same way, right? Like we live in a generation of people that want to make their own way. And yes, there are people like you who should be looked up as role models, but there are also people who use the name entrepreneur and they don't use it correctly.
I think
and
that's
so it makes
why
me afraid to live in the role.
I
Yeah.
hate to tell people now I'm an entrepreneur because I feel like it's become an icky term because it became a trendy term.
Right.
And so there's no way.
It's kind of a catch-all.
Yeah, there's
Even
no
for
way
like
to
a lot of
legitimize
different
it.
kinds
Like,
of side businesses.
I mean,
Right, and it leaves somebody to open to criticism. Like, what do you mean? You sure you're not just jobless? Like, no, I have 7,000 jobs. You know?
Yeah. Oh, as an actor, you should have heard the things
right.
I get.
Oh, I bet.
You're a waiter. And I'm like, that doesn't necessarily. Like,
well, and I was a singer for so long, and so that was my identity, and I don't know, and we're all in the music industry in some capacity or have been in there, so it's hard to break up from an industry at any time, that you've been ingrained in. And entrepreneur, I feel like, is an icky word. So it's, now it is.
I think it's badass.
I think it's badass when you've done what you've done.
Yeah.
So
like,
I think
you
that's
have the
what it
street
is.
cred that follows that.
Well,
you know?
yeah, but like I guess when I say it feels icky, it's because I feel like so many people are using it in a non-legitimate way.
What about like sparkly business starter? Did we call you that?
A sparkle newer.
A
sparkle
newer.
I'm a sparkle
You're
newer.
a sparkle newer. You just spread little
Sprinkle the
sprinkles
sparkles
of joy
everywhere
and
you go.
sparkles.
Joy and
And
money.
make money in the
Joy
process.
and money.
Joy and money. There it is.
Sparkle, joy, and money.
Dude,
I
she
love that.
told me she was flipping something over. I can't remember what your
Curtains?
business.
She keeps everything.
And I was
That's the
like,
most
and
amazing
she
thing
told me how
ever.
much money she made, and I go, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. You're like, can we all flip
I'm
curtains?
like, I want to be a curtain flipper. That's my thing. You know?
I'm going to flip. You're going to see me flipping curtains.
That's basically how we met. Is like she walked up and asked me what size shoe I wore, and then we talked about how we could share closets, and then she told me how she's flipped a pair of Louboutins.
Yeah.
And that was within moments.
What did I remember that story. You like bought them at Nordstrom's rack.
I bought them.
I
Yeah,
was kidding.
it was the electro nude spiked pumps. I don't know if I'm saying that right. They're like retail for $1,300, and I bought them for like $270.
Whoa.
And I sold them on Poshmark for $900.
Oh my god.
It was fantastic.
It's wild. You have to teach me these ways. That's
Well, actually, I bought two pair.
There's a crew in town that's called, I can't remember, Well Dressed or something. And they every time they call me, they're like, hey, this season, and I just don't have enough stuff to give them. So
I will totally go in with you.
I was like, I would
like,
rather create that business because you know, and maybe not like because not the
flipping
high end,
designer
right?
apparel, or at least like mid.
I was like, I don't.
midline?
Yeah, I'm midline mom.
Yeah.
And, you know, some of the stuff I'm like, I don't have like the. I don't have Louboutins.
Do
I
Target
don't
t-shirts
either.
count?
I would like a pair of Louboutins, but I do not have.
I mean,
one.
you,
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
For
I
moms,
only borrow
like for
Kayla's
the
and-
middle of the class moms that want the Louboutins, you have to shop the Real, because it's.
Yeah, I've heard that.
But honestly, I can't even wear them anymore. I give them to Corey.
Okay,
to wear.
well, speaking
of
of
clothes,
things that don't fit,
Yes.
you did this post, Brittainy, which go follow her at Brittainy Taylor, BRITT.
BRITT.
Retaining.
AINY.
AINY. Two
Yes.
T's.
Yeah.
2 T's
And
and an I.
AINY.
It's like Britain
Yeah.
with 2 T's and a Y.
Yeah. So go follow her because she's truly like so real, and I think that's what attracted us to you so much is because we try to keep it real. It's the whole reason we started this podcast, and you are such a real person, and you have been really open about your struggle with your body since having a baby.
Yeah.
And you did a post the other day that just, I was like, man, it's just such a real struggle for every woman who's ever gone.
Are you talking
yeah.
about the Costco post?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's funny that you said so PJ, that was just a candid. I didn't even think about it. He took a video and we were walking through Costco and earlier that day, so PJ's background is in fitness.
Yeah.
And you know, he is so, I mean, he's so, when he wants something, he's determined to get it. So he's up at every day at 5 a.m. I think he's now working with Orange Theory again. He's like doing
He's
2 days.
badass. He's like Secret Service.
Yeah.
Like he is just a
but
badass.
military has like a certain regimen. So the second he puts his mind to something, this is it, right? And I love that about him. I find myself, and I never used to be this person, but making the excuse of being like, man, I didn't sleep for but 2 hours last night.
That's
the
real, though.
The baby's in
That's
her weird sleep mode, so we're not sleeping very well, or she's super nursing again, and so she doesn't want me, you know, I don't know how much time I have between when she's taking a nap. Sometimes it's 27 minutes, sometimes it's 2 hours, you know, or I'm just not hungry, I haven't been eating, or whatever the excuse is. I'm finding myself I'm more anxious about working out than I ever have been in my life, and I don't know if it's just about movement or whatever. So saying all that, I'm telling him, like, you know, that's it. I wanted to do the 75 hard, and both him and a work friend was like, here's the thing about 75 hard.
I don't even know what that is.
So 75 hard is a regimen of 75 days, and I think there's like 7 or 8 non-negotiables, and it's like you and every time you mess up one, you have to restart these 75 days again. But people swear by it, right?
Yeah.
And I can't diet because I'm nursing, so I was like, great, I can pick something that works for me. But you're picking something that works for you as far as a diet. You're working out two a days, so twice a day.
Oh
then
my
you
God.
then you gotta read
intense.
45 pages of something. It's a regimen.
So it's a lifestyle thing.
It's a huge lifestyle change for 75 days. And so PJ's like, not that you can't do it, but this is the problem that you have, is that you put this super pressure on yourself. And instead of just saying, I'm going to change one thing today and feel good about it, and then when you reach that 21-day mark, right, or that 10-day mark where you're like, I can add on more, he's like, you throw 10 things on yourself all at once, you overwhelm it, and then you break down. And he's like, and it's not that, he's like, I don't care what your body looks like, it has to do with you being happy. You will never be happy if you just continue to focus on this instant gratification change of I'm going to kill myself to get where I want to be, instead of just being like, you know what, maybe today I don't have a burger, maybe today I have, and he's like, or maybe today I just do movement, maybe today I just go walk with my daughter. Like he's like
that's
you pressure yourself. Yeah. So we're walking all around Casco, and I'm like whatever. And internally, I had just done a brand with a clothing line, a brand deal with a clothing line, and they sent me these clothes, and I was like, you know what, I'll be conservative, I'll step up a size, just so whatever, and it didn't fit.
Oh, stepping up didn't fit.
Yeah, so like usually I'm like a 24, 25, and I was like, I'll put a 26 in, and like it didn't, they were tight, and I immediately was like, no, I broke down. I went and jumped on the scale because I had done this like crazy, like, I worked out 4 days, whatever, and I was like, oh, I was supposed to be down, and I wasn't down. And I'm in my mind, I'm just having this huge anxiety about like, this body is so starkly different. And I was told if I was going to breastfeed, right, it's great, you're going to burn calories.
It'll
I
fall
think
off.
that's a myth.
It'll melt off.
Yeah.
Your body holds on to that weight, almost as like a starvation tactic,
Yeah.
I think, so you can't
So
starve
true.
your baby
I think
until you're done nursing.
Women
Oh,
don't
yeah.
lose all the baby weight.
The
till
5 or
they're
10
weaned.
pound thing that comes off when you're done
Yeah.
nursing, and it is just, and I don't know if it's hormonal.
But also what's crazy is like that is a conversation, right? So like people are like, don't worry, after you have the baby, you're gonna drop 10 pounds, or after the baby and you nurse, you'll get the weight, you'll bounce right back, or hey, you were tiny before, you'll come right back. Like that, like when people said that, I think in my mind I was like, oh yeah, and you unknowingly throw that pressure on yourself, even though people are just saying it out of like can't.
Oh, yeah.
They're not actually meaning it. They don't care. Like I'm sure nobody's looking at me and being like, wow, you're a cow, right? But I feel that way, and so when I put on these jeans, I'm like, oh my god, they're not fitting. We go to Costco, and every time we go to Costco, PJ and I, like, we just love the baby. It's like our thing with the baby. And he's like, let's go get some ice cream and a hot dog. And I was like, I can't have bread, right? So he comes and he's like, why don't you want a slice of pizza? And I was like, no, I don't want pizza. I was like, you know what? The baby's starting to try new foods. Let's give her a little bit of piece of pizza or whatever. So she's eating the pizza, and I don't know why I'm crying.
Aww.
She's eating the pizza and she hands it to me. Like she just like throws it in my mouth. And I was like, oh no. PJ's like, I didn't realize he was filming. I just was having a moment. And I started laughing uncontrollably, and he had this on video. So he posted it as in like fun times at Costco.
Yeah.
And when I watched it, I was like, oh my God, this is the moment that I'm missing. This is the me that I was so worried about what a baby's handful of pizza was going to do to my jean size, that I wasn't enjoying the fact that she was it's a skill that my baby knew where my mouth was, and she's like feeding and wanting to have a moment with me, and I was missing out all of that because of this anxiety that was just like overwhelming me.
Yeah.
And so I posted that because I was like, I think internally when I'm going through something, I don't really tell anybody. I just I isolate and I internalize, and I let it sip and simmer and do whatever it's got to do, and then it comes out in certain ways. And I found in this case, in this season of life, it's coming out in just like isolation and not wanting to be around anybody.
Mm-hmm. Well, you said something that hit me in that, I think it was in the caption of that post, where you said that, you wish you could speed up time so that you were at a point where you love your body again, but that means missing these moments with River and speeding up time with her.
Yeah.
And that just really, like,
it's like the click movie.
Yeah.
Like, the
Pausing.
It is a click movie.
Click movie, like where you're like, you're so focused on like the goal and getting there that you just go on autopilot and you miss out
journey.
all like the moments in the journey.
Well, the weird thing is, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I definitely struggled with body image issues pre-baby.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I was in the entertainment industry, and while I never had what I would technically call an eating disorder, I definitely had disordered eating,
Mm-hmm.
and I definitely obsessed about it.
Yeah.
And I know that I was undereating, over-exercising. My whatever the scale said that day set my mood for the day.
Yeah.
Even though there's like so many variables, it's like you said, like sometimes it's not doing what you want. You're like, why isn't the math adding up?
Right.
Yeah.
And then it's because of a lot of other reasons.
Other factors.
And then you get pregnant and you have an excuse for your body to change. And even though that can be hard, you're like, I'm growing a human, I'm doing this amazing thing. And now when your belly pops and it's like cute and you know, you might feel uncomfortable in your body, but you still are like, there's purpose. And then all of a sudden the belly that was hard and cute and round is squishy and you're bleeding and you're sweating and you're crying and you're not sleeping and you have physical scars, you have emotional scars, and you're told to think that you need to enjoy all the moments, because if not, you're not like appreciating motherhood in all its glory.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
In fact, one of the comments that naturally comes, and again, I don't think any of these are out of ill will, so I think that's the other reason why I isolate and I don't say it, because I think people when you comment back about what you heard and how it made you feel, some people are like, well, that's not what they meant, right? I know people aren't meaning ill will when they're saying, well, you just had a baby, right? But like that was 7 months ago. I didn't just have a baby, right? But like at 3 months they were saying that. At 5 months they were saying that.
But it does take 10 months to grow a baby, and you need to give yourself a little bit of grace in this period too, because I mean, they say it's like it's a full 9 months, it's 10 months.
Especially when you're an overproducer with milk.
Yeah.
And so I was, and I feel like I was in the same boat with you in the sense of, why is my body not going? And I'm still there, and I'm 2.5 years out, and I'm still nursing, and I thought I'd be done nursing.
That's a huge part of it, though.
Mm-hmm.
But like your body is literally trying to make food, and I'm still I can't give you advice because I'm not accepting it well, because I weigh more today than I did the day I weigh the same today that I did the day that I gave birth, and like everyone's like, you're that 10 pounds that you're gonna lose, and it's like what is going on here, and it's so frustrating. But I do think the myth about breastfeeding needs to be busted, like once and for all.
I looked it up, right? And the prolactin, right, which is the hormone that is being created. Sometimes some women, it's just like any other thing, right? Some women can drink red wine and not have a reaction, and some women have, vomiting, right?
Yeah.
Your prolactin in my body wants to hold in the fat, because that is what's producing the milk, and that's totally okay. Saying all that, I think no matter what, even when and if, and at this point that's where I'm coming to, is like, does it even matter? Because am I happy? Do I feel good? Is what I'm trying to find.
That's the only thing that
like
matters.
I'm trying to look at that predetermined weight on the scale and be like, that has nothing, right? Because that could be muscle, that could be milk, that could be whatever. I just want to look in the mirror and like the person I'm sitting
Yeah.
Right?
Come on.
And it could be you just need to poop.
But I think what really hit me and why it's so hard to let go of that is like the younger me that was so used to like the super diet and looking in the mirror that very first time postpartum and being like, holy shit, my body is never going to be the same again, right? It's just not, the small little stretch marks, the like, even when your body does go back, like your hips,
your hips are wider,
right? There's a reason why when we pass, if someone were to look at our bones, they'd be like, that woman had a baby, right? Because of the way the hip bones are shaped. So like our bodies truly don't go back to the same that once they were. So like, why is it so hard to accept that?
It's funny for me with each of my pregnancies. I had this mental thing of wanting to start the next one at a smaller weight than I was.
Oh, wow.
And I did, except for my last one. But for me, it was so unhealthy for so many reasons. And I obsessed over my hips. I obsessed over my butts. Two things I hated about my body my whole entire life. And it wasn't until a year ago that I realized these things that I have really, really, really despised, I love finally. Yeah. And it was just like a switch that flipped in my head. And it was like, I love it.
Yeah.
Do I love extra cellulite? No. Do I love extra wrinkles? No. But I've kind of learned to embrace the good that they've given me, and it's a hard
The
it's
memories
a hard
that
mental.
you've made, like
Yeah.
getting
I mean,
to this point.
I'm the first to admit I do use Botox or Dysport, not often, but like 3 times a year probably. But my wrinkles, they tell the story of my life, you know?
Yeah.
That C-section scar that I hate because it's a little shelf. I mean, I've had 4 healthy kids that way,
What's
you know?
that line in the song that there's lines upon my face from A Lifetime of Smiles?
Yeah.
Like, it's such
Yeah.
a true
Yeah.
thing. But here's where it gets really tricky, is that you do appreciate your body for what it did.
Yeah.
And you are truly soaking up every moment with River. I see it.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
I see you soaking up those moments. But when you're in the phase you're in, it doesn't change the fact that it doesn't feel good to put pants on when you want to go out.
Yeah.
Right.
And then all that does is make you feel bad
Or you
because
can't
you're
find
not
a bra that fits.
exactly. Well, I was going to mention that too
Yeah.
because I had your boobs got giant, right?
Yeah.
Mine did too, and just your boobs being big and heavy makes you feel heavier, and
Yeah.
it makes it harder to
Yeah.
get dressed.
Yeah.
So like no matter what anyone says, it doesn't change the way you feel in those moments. And
Yeah.
I really think it's like day to day, like just trying to get in the right mindset. And then, I mean, I totally get feeling that isolation, because then what happens is you're not out around the energy of friends who are making you forget about that. And
Right.
you're not out being like, I'm gonna have a drink and a burger and I'm gonna love it. And so what happens is like you're living this ball of stress too, of like, I'm not gonna do that because it's like this vicious cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Of like, I'm not gonna do that because I don't feel good in my skin right now. And then the more you're at home, the more you're just like sitting there remembering that. And it truly is like, it truly is a phase of motherhood that, I mean, I think everyone goes through it to a degree.
Yeah, I think, and the crazy, I sit and I think about this and I'm like, did my mom had me at 17, bless you. My mom had me at 17, I'm like, did my mom go through this? Right, because I don't remember that, right? I don't remember, I remember, Christmas time and jumping on bunk beds and, I never remembered my mom struggling. And the same thing you're saying about laugh lines, like my grandmother never had Botox, right?
Yeah.
Like, I never once thought like, wow, she's got a lot of wrinkles on
None
her
of
face.
our moms did,
You know,
by
my
the way.
grandmother
Right?
had mastectomy,
Yeah.
and I remember when she was going through breast cancer, and she had this large scar.
Yeah.
And I remember just being like, that's so cool, right? Like, I don't remember ever, like, when they say people don't tell you, like, I don't want River to ever remember or know or have a feeling in the air that I'm unhappy.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I that's what I fight with, because like I think about her getting older and I'm like, I don't want you to ever like, I don't want her to feel that way, you know?
Well, and when you have a girl, I think it really, there's something to, you know, you've talked about this, Jen, about how you will never say anything negative about your body in front of your girls.
And if I slip up, I have to very quickly correct myself.
Yeah.
I don't ever want them to think that
No,
there's like,
because she's gonna take on, right? She may take on my big boobs. She might take on, you know, I don't know. She may be athletic. She may not be. And I don't ever want her to look at moments with me and think that was what I was concerned about. So that's internally what she has to be concerned about, you know? And so I sit back and I guess I fight, and why I'm so mad is because I'm like, man, I'm bigger than that. This isn't my body has done so much, and I want to like just be happy, but I also just want to take a picture and not worry about which one you guys decided to post today.
This is exactly what Phil was
you know?
talking about.
Like whatever happened to just taking one photo? Like, and I started thinking, I'm like, let's do less filters. Let's take a photo. I'm not going to overanalyze or overstudy it. But, you know, that's I think what hits me most is that I'm sitting in this season of trying to re-engage and re-love this person postpartum without letting her know it, you know? Because kids feed off that, even this small, you know? Like, and that's why that's why I think I got so taken back by Costco. Because I was like, does she know that I'm upset right today? Like, why did she just, you know, out of
she
nowhere.
just knew you needed pizza.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
You know what's
please
cool?
make everything
You know what's
better,
cool about
Mom.
kids though is that they truly live in the moment.
Yeah.
Like you watch any kid, they truly live in the moment, which is why they can be happy to a meltdown and meltdown to happy.
Yeah.
So the great thing about kids is that they can cheer you up when you're down. They see it, they feel it, and then they just move on. So, you know, I mean,
there's a lesson there.
There is.
For sure.
I mean, it's what we all need to try to do is go, how do I feel exactly in this moment? You know what I mean? Like, we were all trying to do that. But the
Yeah.
great thing is that kids really do, like, obviously we should never rely on them to make us happy.
Right.
But you're gonna have those moments. You're a human being.
Yeah.
And she's gonna witness those moments. And just like with PJ, where he's seen you at your best and at your worst, right?
Mhm.
And he loves you.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be the same with River.
Do you also feel that too? That there is we live in a certain generation too, right? I fight with body positive.
Yeah.
And how I feel, right? So like
Yeah.
I sometimes I'm like, man,
Yeah.
this is gonna be strange talking about it because I don't want people to be like, well, love the body you have because you look great and I wish, and that comes, right? But no one's fighting harder than the person in the mirror. And
Right.
like, so I do love my body. I'm very thankful for what it did. However, I know what would make me happier and would make me less stressed out, and that would be just to feel, I don't know, even just going on walks every day that I have been for the last week, just getting more oxygen,
Yeah.
you know, just movement is all.
Well, you can be frustrated and grateful. Those two things can be
They can
they
coexist.
coexist.
Yeah.
The other day, this was actually just yesterday, we were getting ready for church, and Loxley picked out a dress, and she was so excited. She was spinning around, and she looked at herself in the mirror, and she goes, "Mommy, I look so cute." And I was like,
This girl.
"You do look so cute." And then I got dressed, and she's like, "Oh, Mommy, I love your hair." And I was like, "Girlfriend, it's fake." But like, and I was like, "You know what though? Like, I'm rocking these clip-ins. Like,
Yeah.
heck yeah, it does look good." And so I loved how innocent that confidence was with her. So I'm gonna do something fun with you guys. I want, if you were like the body you have right now, but you were to look at yourself in the mirror with like innocent eyes, and you didn't have to worry about, it's not okay to say good things about yourself, because I feel like we all think that, like, sometimes where there is body positivity, but the inner like little villain in ourselves, it's like, oh, don't
That
talk
inner
good about
insecurity.
yourself. Yeah, don't talk good about yourself. So if you were to look in the mirror right now at yourself through like the eyes of a kid and just be like, "I am so cute," what compliment would you give yourself?
I know what compliment I would give you.
No, it's not.
Not
Okay.
compliment you.
No.
No,
You have to
I'm
I'm gonna
compliment
say
yourself.
something anyway. I'm gonna say something
Okay.
anyway. Because I have seen you struggle, Kayla.
Oh,
I have seen you
now you
struggle.
make me cry.
Yeah.
And-
Sorry, every time I come, I cry. I think.
Oh.
You have no idea like how beautiful and
I'm the
cute your figure is.
What?
Oh my god, I'm gonna
You're the
I'm
what?
gonna deck you.
You're a what?
She just said I'm the duff.
What is the duck? What am I missing? It doesn't.
so
I saw a movie that it was literally a movie on Netflix that was called that, and then I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's me."
I've
I
seen
can't
you.
even
I've seen you.
believe-
You
not
have
even
this
close.
weird
That's
lens.
so
but
ridiculous.
this is truly what happens when your body is different than
Oh,
what
used to
it
be.
was. Is it's like this body dysmorphic state you're
It
in
is,
where
yeah.
you don't see. Just like you were like, you look amazing.
you look.
Like
I mean,
your
that's the
figure's
first
freaking
thing I said to you. I
rocking.
haven't seen you in like
Yeah.
3 or 4 weeks, and you look spectacular.
And you don't
You
feel
spectacular,
it, right?
and
Like,
that-
so it's,
all that matters is how you feel. I get that, but
I truly believe that there's this whole body positivity movement, right? And I feel like body positivity, you have to feel it from inside. So
Yeah.
whatever size that is for you,
Yeah.
if you want more defined butt, you're allowed to want that.
okay,
You're
but wait.
allowed to work for
Kayla's
it.
exercise has merit, and we need to
I
go
really
back to
wanna
it.
go-
Okay. I just wanted to tell you that, like, I just like.
Thank you.
You're beautiful.
Like, you-
so
you'll
what
be
is
like,
yours?
oh,
Let's start with you.
No. I wasn't gonna start.
Oh, I'll start. I love my smile, and I think that
You do have a
all the
great
issues
smile.
I have aside, I need some teeth whitening. Hello, anyone out there that wants to hook us up? I would love that. But beyond that, I love my smile, and I think that if I was my daughter and I'm seeing me smile, even if I'm struggling, I think she sees me happy.
I love that.
This is emotional. I love my eyes. I think that one of the reasons why strangers come up and talk to us is because everyone has always told me that I have very kind eyes. And I love them even more now because her eye color has been changing and River has my eyes. And so I see myself in her eyes and I love it.
Awesome.
I love it. You go.
Okay, so I love my arms because
Yes!
with motherhood, I really, and I think this is actually an important thing to know anyway, is that I had so many body issues before having kids. And after having kids, I had some thyroid issues. I was always scared to be bulky when I put on muscle. And this was like, I knew I could have low bone. I had a little bit of like osteopenia and low bone density. And I had my naturopath say like, you have to lift heavy. And I was terrified to do it. But I was like, I'm going to do it for my kid. Because who cares? My body's weird anyway. So I'm just going to start doing
you
this.
have like a killer body.
You are
You are so
You're
hot.
You are like
Oh my God.
insane.
You're like,
So
I mean, I have-
Mom Bod goals.
Yeah.
literally.
I have
Without a
issues
doubt.
of my own, trust
You have
me.
Carrie
Like,
Underwood legs.
She does.
Yes.
you guys are very sweet. And
Yeah,
you know, the
that's
thing
true.
is, like, I truly have, like, body issues, too. I do, like, I really do. But what happened when I decided to actually do something for my child, I'm like, I am going to make sure that I am here for him and I don't have brittle freaking bones, is that I got strong. And I all of a sudden became, I was like, wow, who knew you worked out to be strong?
Yeah.
What a weird concept. And so my arms got strong, and all of a sudden I could pick him up and sling him around as he got bigger and bigger. And now, like,
You have
he's
hot
9.
arms.
He's 9, and I pick him up,
Yeah.
and I feel capable as a mom. And then my arms, like, I freaking hug all 3 of them and pick them up. And like the
But
fact
they're
that
really hot.
oh my
You look good in a tank top.
thanks, honey.
Yeah.
But like, I really do feel like the strength that came with it, and I'm like, I want to be able to pick up my babies for as long
Okay,
as
but if
humanly
you were
possible.
gonna look in the mirror
yeah,
and like just be like, oh,
It would be your
yes,
arms.
it would be your arms.
like you mean like just physically what I like about like,
Yeah. Like if you were gonna look in the mirror, like that innocent, like I think about Loxley standing
Yeah.
in front of the mirror and just like, I'm so pretty, like, and just like seeing like things like that. If you were the body you have right now in a child's mind, what compliment would you give yourself?
From my kids'
Your arms are
perspective.
hot.
Oh well, I just meant like
No, not
I
from
just
your
meant I
kids'
appreciate
perspective.
my. Okay, so I'm looking at it more of like what I appreciate about my body.
No. If you're gonna look in the mirror and just
Yeah.
like compliment something hot about you, like if you
No,
have
you
that,
do have really hot
you do have
Your
hot
arms
arms. I
are
think
hot.
like if you had that
And your
child
calves.
innocence, like of like, oh wow, like there and there was no insecurity, there's no villain inside of you telling you that it was like.
I think
not-
from a child's perspective, it's always going to be about your eyes, your smile, the
Yeah.
things you guys are meant, because that's truly like a kid loves more fluff because it's comfy to lay on.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
Right?
true.
Like babies want to snuggle in there and like my squishy belly, my
Right,
baby.
So
yeah.
yours would be your eyes.
Well, I think it would just be like, I guess this is such a hard question because I'm like, what do my kids see when they
No,
look
not
at
your
me?
kids. Like
Like
you.
a child's eyes. Like
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking is like looking at it from a kid's perspective. I think kids are always going to be
Yeah.
like I want to. There was something where did I hear this? It was like there's something beautiful about parenthood because no matter how old a child is, a parent's face changes when their child walks in the room.
Mhm.
And it's true. Like your baby, you're like, and I think that is like that has to be like in your eyes,
yeah.
Yeah.
right? So I guess it's that. It's like you hope your eyes are just sparkling for a
Although I
child.
will say your kids or a little version of you would probably look at you and think, oh, you're a superhero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
You're
take
like
that. I'll take
She-Ra
that.
or
Yeah.
Wonder Woman because
Yeah.
she legit has that body.
I don't even know why I got emotional just now. I mean, part of it for
Because
me
it's a
is,
vulnerable question. Like,
yeah,
it's
it is.
like-
It's-
Okay,
and what
Kayla.
about you? Since I like failed the assignment, you need to
No,
like.
You did not.
I was the interviewer.
no,
Oh, no,
now
I
you're
was the
being
answer.
interviewed.
100%.
I was the interviewer.
no, that's not how it works.
Mom, you have a great rack.
You have really nice boobs
Yeah, you do.
and a teensy waist.
Yeah.
not right now.
Yes.
No, okay, so this is what's crazy. So in my 20s, when I was like focused purely on music, I used to like get really aggravated that my eyes weren't blue. And I thought I needed like,
Those awesome eyes.
so here's the thing. I thought I needed blue eyes. And so I went and got like colored contacts that, like.
You
that
wore
were-
colored contacts in your 20s?
No.
Oh.
I could not physically get them in.
Oh.
I could not wear them. Like my eyes just like, and it used to bother me. And now as an adult, my eyes like are my favorite thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, I love the color of my eyes.
Yeah.
My sisters used to tease me growing up. I've always hated my eyes. Both my sisters have gorgeous eyes, and I've always like, oh, I wish I had their eyes.
What color eyes do they have?
A little bit different version of mine.
I mean, your eyes are gorgeous. They're like
well,
a gray green.
They're like
Well, and
They're like-
so
like light
So
emerald.
cat-
I know.
they're the color of cat pee.
Did you say
Oh
cat
my
seed?
Seriously.
Yeah.
First
Like,
of all,
so growing up,
no.
my
Who told you that?
My sister! And
She is colorblind.
Or she
No
would be like,
offense.
your eyes are the color of dead grass.
Sorry, y'all, this is my babysitter.
Your eyes,
And so, but now,
people pay money. a lot of money to have contacts that make their eyes look like yours.
And so, well, now I'm like, I love doing my makeup. I like love when I do my makeup and I use bronzy like reds and purples and pinks, and
Purple.
it makes my
She
eyes.
said purple, guys.
Oh yeah, I love purple eyeshadow. It's great with green eyes.
Oh, I forgot because she hates purple.
She hates purple.
I do.
This is so real, guys. I'm just like, my babysitter was messaging me on my watch,
Oh
like
my
we're at the
gosh.
park because she's
Yeah.
coming.
Aw.
Well, so anyways, that would be mine.
Your
like,
eyes.
as an adult,
Yeah.
and like Loxley's eyes. I love that you're saying that because that's totally me. Loxley's eyes are getting. She looks just like Jonathan, but like sometimes when she smiles and her eyes sparkle, I see myself,
Yeah.
and it just like. It's the best feeling ever.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I love my eyes. Like, I love it because I see how pretty they are in her. And I'm like, why this does make you cry.
Yeah,
It does.
It's
It does.
so hard.
It's really
It's so
weird.
hard to like love your. That's the craziest thing I think about too. Is like, I start looking back at old photos to find like the goal
Yeah.
body, and I was like, man, that photo I didn't post this photo because I thought this photo was bad.
I
like,
know.
you start
Do
going
you-
back and you're like, I was never.
Yeah.
Do you
happy
ever
about
think
it.
back
That's
though about
exactly
what
it.
it took? Like, forget your age, right? Because we all know it's different in your 20s anyway.
Yeah.
But do you ever look back at what it took to have that body? Because for me, I look back at the body I had in my late 20s, early 30s as I started having kids, when I was legitimately like a size 4, and I was like, I don't want that anymore.
Yeah, no.
I don't want what it takes
Kourtney
for me to
Kardashian,
get.
I think, though I know that we're all like, that's not, they're not necessarily everybody's wish on the wish list goal, but I do love what Kourtney Kardashian said recently when she was like, if you see me in a picture super skinny, just know I was not happy.
Yeah.
And I
Yes.
remember when I thought I looked the hottest was when VC first launched, and I will never forget, I have a picture. I looked terrible. I was like over tanned. I was maybe 115 pounds, and even then I wasn't comfortable taking a photo,
Yeah.
and I thought that was the best photo I'd ever taken.
I remember at my wedding, I was maybe like 97 pounds and like a 00, like a size 23 jeans were loose on me. And like,
Which also for your size is, I mean,
I am 4'11",
Yeah.
so it's like,
Yeah.
I just want to put
Right.
perspective.
yeah,
on that.
yes. I'm 4'11", so yes, I was small, but I'm also very petite. Like, so it wasn't emaciated.
Emaciated.
I
You might have also been
I did not say
emancipated.
that. As soon as I
Sorry,
said that, I was like, I butchered that word.
Yeah.
But like, I remember the week of my wedding being like, I need to diet so that like
Oh.
I don't have a belly in my dress. And it's insane because my dress was a 0, which is small for wedding dresses because they're already like,
Yep.
Yeah, they run
and
so
they
small.
had to take it in so much so that it like wouldn't fall off of me, and I didn't have boobs then, and so like there was such a gap there, and I had like bones in my chest, and I didn't have an eating disorder, but I definitely had unhealthy lifestyle,
Yeah.
like eating habits
Mhm.
where I wouldn't eat all day long. I would walk like 5 miles. I also had time to walk 5 miles.
Yeah.
But and it's like when I think about the happiness level and like where my life was fulfillment wise, like where I was happy I was getting married, but like what you were saying, like what it takes to get to that body.
Well, at some point you're like, that 5 to 10 pounds is my happiness. It's my
Yep.
going out with my girlfriends and not worrying about it. a
It's
couple times
truffle
a week.
fries.
Yeah, but also
It's wine.
And what's the reason behind it, right?
Yep,
Like I think
like
about
why?
when I was pretty disordered eating, it was control. I
Yeah.
wanted to have
It was
control,
total
over
control.
something. Everything else felt out of control. And this is the one time that I had to let go of control because my body does not belong to me right now. And there isn't anything
Yes.
wrong with it, right? That's what I wanted. I would never trade those last 10 pounds to lose the bond that I have with my daughter. So
Well, and when motherhood, you have to give up so much control.
Oh yeah.
Like
Oh,
these
yeah.
tiny humans, we work for them.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like everything. You can't control anything anymore.
So I will say, cheers to eating for fun, eating to be the best version of yourself, working out to be the best version of yourself, and feeling good, and just taking one step at a time towards happiness.
what's
Well,
that French
and-
saying?
C'est la vie.
No.
No, it's like it's
Très bon something like let them eat cake.
Oh yeah.
uh-huh.
Yeah,
But
that's-
it's I should
Well,
know
I
this.
truly believe that if like
It's
cake or
true.
cookies appear in front of you, like
Yeah.
Corey
Yeah,
will eat
should-
all of it.
yeah, well that's true.
She will eat
I
all of
almost
it.
brought
But
us
I
5
also,
daughters.
but I also feel like it's like that 80-20 balance of like
Yep.
I think being healthy is a great thing, and being healthy for your kids.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think life is about balance. So it's like, when you're at home and you're just hanging out, most days eat pretty well. So that when you go out with PJ or you're at Costco with River, I mean, I feel like you guys are in a similar phase and we're in a similar phase where Jen and I have like, we're also in our 40s.
Yeah.
So I think there is something about
squarely in our
almost
mid
40s. So there's something about self-acceptance that happens at that point that you can only get to with age.
Yeah.
I really believe.
Yeah.
But I also think the other thing is that you guys are both nursing, and there's a certain amount that you have to give up to just your hormonal profile, and know that it's just going to take time because it doesn't really matter what you do. All you're doing at some point when you're overdoing it is spiking your cortisol levels and making your body want to hang on more, putting it in a stressed out state.
I think I did that. You actually talked me off the rail with that.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
well,
I think,
and even my naturopath had said I can't even look at your hormone levels until 2 months after you're done breastfeeding, because your hormones will have to re-regulate again, and you need to
I will say that it takes longer than 2 months. It really does. I mean, I know she knows what she's talking about, but I'm just saying for me, my hormones started really like kicking into gear about 7 months after I weaned. Like, I could tell that I was feeling normal and I was centered,
Your
and
body
I wasn't
has
having
shifted
so
much in the past.
Oh, it has.
And I just weaned in June, and I've gone through this whole, my periods got weird. Everything's been crazy. I feel like I'm shedding hair like now, not necessarily like 3 months postpartum, but like 3 months post weaning.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm having to go through this like little bit of an emotional roller coaster. And you know, Teddy's 20 months old, weaned her 3.5, 4 months ago, and so really, and everybody's ride is different, you know. But I do think that there is a timeline that people don't tell you, because it's kind of depressing if you're like, it's going to be 2 years before you feel, or 6 months past weaning or whatever.
The crazy thing is, PJ and I actually started talking about possibly having a second, because you know, time's a ticking, and we're like, well, I want to have a bigger family. I want to have siblings, and I'm going through this, right? And he's obviously in the thick of it with me when I'm crying about it, and he's like, are you sure you want to go through this again? Because look at you, right? Like, and I was like, oh yeah. Immediately I snap out of it. I'm like, oh yeah, because I'm like, I
forget very quickly.
like it's okay, right? Like, I was like, no, this is just this temporary moment that I think you look at something that's seemingly unrecognizable, and now I know, and I'm better prepared to go through it this second time. Can I also say, though, there is something, and I know this is how I felt, and a lot of women feel this way. It's very difficult when you're planning to have multiple kids and you're blessed with the ability to do that, right?
Oh,
it's like,
yes,
because the problem is, and this is where you are right now, right? That limbo where you're like, I'm not going to lose all this weight because I'm just going to gain it. And then I'm not going to lose it again because I'm just going to gain it. I'm just going to stay the course for a little bit. And then when I'm done having kids, I'm going to lose it and I'm going to get back to my best self.
I don't even think it's staying the course. I think it's that you don't feel like it's your body.
Right.
Like, because I'm in the thick of that right now. We've wanted kids for 2 years and it's not happening.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm also still kind of breastfeeding. Like, we're very much so weaning. But it's not even like, I don't want to lose the weight. It's like, I can't lose the weight because my body is not mine. And it's so weird. I would be really, really curious to have a non-breastfeeding mom like answer this and how, like, what the shift was for them. Because, I mean, all of us breastfed, which, I mean, it just happened to work out for all of us. But I'm curious, I would really love to hear from, someone who chose formula or a different route for their baby, what that hormonal timeline was like.
And I definitely did not lose all the, like, it was different for me with all 3 kids, but with Radley, my first, and Teddy, my last, I definitely hung on to extra weight until I weaned. Bash, for some reason, I didn't. But his whole, everything with him was different. The way I was postpartum, the way I was during my pregnancy.
Do you think it was because it was after a miscarriage?
Maybe. I never really thought about
that.
that.
That's a really good question.
Because your hormones are so different.
You could be totally right about that. But I didn't have the postpartum anxiety the way I did with the other 2. I didn't hang on to the weight.
Before you had pregnant.
You're so right. I don't, there's probably something to
there.
that.
That's interesting.
But it was just an entirely different experience. I just was able to, like, love him and relax into loving him in a way that I sort of like battled. Like, postpartum anxiety definitely threatened to steal my joy a lot with my first and my last, and I also hung on to weight. And so but there's something to us making sure that any woman going through this, and this is you guys included, like, wear the clothes you feel good in.
Yeah.
Don't try to button the jeans around a belly that's not ready, because we all know that's not going to look cute. But if you dress for your current figure, you're going to look good.
Yeah, and
That
I
goes for
fought with
anyone.
that for a good friend from Nashville, actually, Jen Newman, was like, buy the clothes that fit you right. It's
They make you
okay,
feel
right?
good, and
Because
they're comfortable.
we're used to, or I'm used to, the diet culture, which is like,
Get
don't put
back into
anything
your
but sweatpants
clothes.
on for the next 20
Yep.
days, and sweat it
No.
out and get it right, and you're
Look
like,
good.
okay.
And then you never
No.
feel cute. You just
Right.
always feel like either a sweaty, gross mess,
Yeah.
or you feel
It's so true.
or you feel
Yeah.
gross because
I
you feel
always
terrible because
see-
your pants won't button or whatever. Like
Yeah.
That's
you need a postpartum wardrobe, and it's gonna shift. Whether that means borrowing clothes. I ended up doing my postpartum wardrobe at like H&M.
But
Because
also,
I'm like,
you
I
and
know-
Kayla have been really lucky because the way your pregnancies have fallen, you've been able to share clothes, like
Yeah.
maternity clothes,
Yeah.
maternity clothes, and then postpartum
Yeah.
wardrobes.
I
and
think it's
all
also
that.
important that, and this is what I'm learning too, is like, and not every mom is like this. I think that there are some that are blessed with losing or whatever, but I feel like I look at social media moms, and that is the problem for
That
me,
is the problem,
because I am
yeah.
looking at a mom that looks like she's in, like she's high school grade level body
Right.
the second this baby pops out, right? And I'm looking at, maybe laser therapy that I can't afford, or filters that I'm not using, and I'm not saying this is everyone. I'm saying I think that some of the people that I've idolized in the mama realm, and if I took a really good look, outside of like my natural friends and family who are also moms, if I looked at anybody that I've idolized online, I think I had an unrealistic view of what my body
Was
should
gonna
look
do.
like,
Yeah.
right? And that's what's tough and that's why when you're saying being real, someone else told me this online, and they DM me, they're like, I just want to thank you for not, doing the, let's get back to pre-baby weight, or let's, the bounce back, right? Like, and maybe it's more showing the fluffiness that the baby loves so much, but it's not realistic to think that in 1/3 of the time that you had to grow this child, that you will mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, at all be the same human being that you were pre. That is the love that you can't describe.
Yeah.
That is the moment, right, when she, like, my girlfriend Lauren was like, because she was in the birthing room, she was like, I have this video, and we look at it every time, and she's like, the look on your face when that baby comes out was like, you saw God. Like, something just changed.
You kind of do in that
The
moment.
whole- your
there's
whole
nothing
world-
like feeding your baby.
And you know
Yeah.
what? Like, that's the thing I want people to realize, is like, you can't even describe the moment that your entire world changed. How can you sit back and say everything should be the same? Because nothing is the same. After that moment, nothing is the same.
And also, you have to really like clean house on those people that you're watching and they make you feel crappy, because
Yes.
you could take a picture right now where you twist your body a certain way and
yeah.
use a filter, and
Oh,
you could
yeah.
have other moms feeling
Roxy
that way.
Earl gave us that advice. She was like, unfollow people
Yeah.
that make you feel bad about yourself.
Yeah.
She's like, and they can be amazing people. It's not that it's
not that,
anything
yeah.
against them.
Yeah.
She goes, but if you are following someone on social media that makes you question yourself, or makes you
Feel
not
shitty.
look like the
Yeah.
not like
Sorry.
the way you look,
Beep.
Yeah.
or feel crappy, like crappy's the word that we
Sorry,
can
crappy.
use.
Crappy.
Yeah. Honestly,
We're on
right,
YouTube.
honestly, right now it's less the body stuff and more the home stuff. I'm like,
Oh.
man.
Oh,
Someone posted, I
jeez.
reposted something that it was like if your house is not all white, if it is
White
if
on
you-
white on
yeah,
white on white.
if you're
neutrals
burning
and-
pancakes,
oh,
it is
jeez.
okay. If your house is colorful, right, and that's where I'm at. I'm like, I will never be.
My house is a dungeon.
My house
Yeah.
will always have
Cassidy.
kids' artwork on the refrigerator, and I'm
Yeah.
so grateful for that. I will never have the house that is picture perfect all the time.
You can
I
go to
gave
Olive
that
Mark
up
if you want
as-
white on
yeah.
white.
Yep, I gave that up as soon as I had kids, and you know what? It's a proud. I'm proud of
But
that.
also your home. Like
Yeah.
90% of I think what you're seeing online, right? Some people are, again, they're just really great influencers,
Yeah.
and they have like really great aesthetically pleasing backgrounds. But I would say that 90% of us started out with a small family home, and we built it to be something that would be great, and then we sell it for something, right? Like you like that is the
The
entrepreneurial American like dream, right? Like
Yeah.
like it doesn't have to be perfect.
And
But-
there are primary colors in our house.
I was just getting,
Yeah.
I was just getting all
And
this like,
plastic.
I had done a post about being shocked by how much like a cute themed cake for a kid's birthday party from a local bakery cost.
Or those balloons.
Or the balloons. And I was just being really honest about the fact that like,
Dollar
I
Tree.
can't afford
They're
a
$1 a piece. The Mylars. the best kept secret.
The arches.
Yeah.
You
The-
can
the
buy. Oh, you
Mylar
can buy
ones.
those. Yeah.
No, but I know.
you just mean balloon arches.
But have you gone and gotten a quote? Because
Oh,
No,
yeah.
just make it.
They're so
for someone
expensive.
for
Just
one day.
make it.
Well, I had
Yeah.
just shared something.
I did an
because-
arch on Lox's,
Yep.
and it literally cost me $12.
I've done
Exactly.
my
I do them
arches
for my
too.
kids too.
I do the
You
DIY
get them.
arches.
There's just this tape stuff that you
I have it.
plug the
You can
balloons
use
in.
my
It's
kit.
so awesome.
Yeah.
You can use
But
my
I
kit.
had
I got
posted-
you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll do your arch.
We'll save your
But
balloon
you're
arch
right. But
money.
they can't. Right, but like you see this unrealistic thing that not it's not relatable. And lately we've been rebranding, or I've been rebranding with an agency that I'm working with for stuff, and they were like, "What do you want to show in your next phase of mom life?" And I was like, "I want to show that I tried to make my kid at home baby food and it sucked." You
Yeah.
know, like I can't. I'm not that. You know, I did it. I did it. I bought all the organic vegetables and I put them in the little thing. And she
Just the
hated and
time.
gagged on everything. She wanted. She grabbed an egg roll and ate it out, and that was what she wanted. She wanted
Yeah.
an egg roll. You know, like, or I tried the. You know, I put the Montessori stuff in front of her, and she gets bored with. I mean, we're on 18-month toys right now.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm
Yeah.
over the 7-month toys.
Yeah.
Right, like every child is so different, and so you can't. I mean, to sit back and to think like I have to do it this way, you know, sleep training versus not sleep training. It really, truly is what is working for you, and pay attention to your kid.
But also, like, kudos to you for what you do show,
Yeah.
because what you're doing is so meaningful to someone. And just like you guys right now, like, you can't listen and keep those compliments, right? And we all have a hard time with it, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
right? Like, but,
Wait, what was that again?
like I'm not good at it either. I'm not good at it either. But I think there's also like something to keeping it real when you do have influence of any kind, because like think of how meaningful that is to a mom who's in the same place you are and doesn't feel good about herself, and you're posting your truth, and that's what's meaningful.
Yeah.
That's what's making a difference, not the person who looked like they bounced back whether they did or they didn't, because whose timeline are we on? Like, at what point, who really cares? I get it if you actually are a model and you're gonna, like, you have a
Exactly.
Sports
And that's
Illustrated
your
cover
job.
shoot,
That's
right?
your job.
That's a
Yeah.
different story. But we don't have to have our bodies look a certain way for a living, so we can be on our own timeline and we can enjoy the pizza. And hell, if we want to go on vacation and like binge for a week and we want to make up for it the next few weeks, we can do that.
I remember about a month ago, I got approached by a brand to do some laser therapy. It's basically like
We were talking about this in Destin.
a non-invasive like mommy makeover. And I thought about it for a minute, and I was gonna be honest. If I did it, I was gonna be honest about it. And then PJ actually said, he was like, well, you know, what's your biggest problem with it? And I was like, well, you know, it's like this fast and easy pace, but also, not that I don't believe in it, I think it's great. I think it works. It's that if I wasn't getting paid to do this, I wouldn't pay for it, right? And so then I sat back and I go, how am I going to sit here and tell someone else that they need to
should
buy
pay for it.
$3,000 surgery
Yeah.
when the only reason I'm even posting about this brand is because I'm getting it for free,
Right.
you know?
Ugh.
And that's when I
You're
realized
so
that
refreshing.
You're a
that's
good
when I was
person.
like,
You're so refreshing.
You're a
So
good
unless
person.
I'm willing
So
to
you
pay
didn't
for
do it.
I didn't do
Yeah.
it.
You know, it's funny.
I
Okay,
know.
wait, can you send me their
And
contact?
Me too.
Well, here's the thing.
And
I'm
really-
intrigued by non-invasive
I'm really
Yeah.
intrigued by this.
If there comes a time where I'm saying I'm in that season of life with my finances, if I could financially and I would be able to say this is what I could spend my money on, if I can do it, then I would totally do that, right?
Yeah.
But like to say that I would do it when I wouldn't because I can't financially make that commitment, that didn't seem very fair, you know.
I love how
love
authentic
you.
you are. I'm
I
gonna say
love
you
you.
I love your tattoos. I've told you that many
Oh,
times.
thank
And
you.
honestly, I have this saying in my house in multiple places, which is be a voice, not an echo. And I've always thought that those of us who are capable have the responsibility. And it's like the only saying I would ever actually maybe tattoo on my arm.
Oh,
I
maybe we do a
love it.
tattoo party in here.
Yes, I would do that.
Ooh.
Speaking of Mom Bods, I would get a tattoo.
I do kind of love that.
My
idea.
husband did ask me to get his name tattooed on my ring finger, and I
Yeah.
told him to take a flying leap.
Oh.
But I'm like, I'm not gonna tattoo
That's
anybody's
his
name on my
name.
ring.
We
We
might
might
have
want
talked
a
about
wedding,
doing-
wedding ring.
I would maybe
He's
do
like,
a
I'll get
ring.
tattoo.
I
That's
wouldn't do a
what
name.
Ty
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
wants a
So,
tattoo.
I would do that. I
I
wouldn't
don't
do a
know
name.
if you guys I think we were hanging out, but you didn't go to John's boat party, like his birthday
Oh
party.
yeah, a few years ago.
A
right?
few, yeah, it was like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
where I got his name, like a fake tattoo of it on my butt.
Oh gosh.
So I forget what company it was called, but they look real. And it was like, even like that greenish ink. And so it looked real. And we've always said that if one of us gets our names tattooed on each other's butt, the other person has to do it.
Oh god.
And so my plan was, it was an evil plan. It was terrible. My plan was to get the fake one and then him go get the real one and then me tell him that mine was fake.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not even kidding. So I got him, for his birthday, I got him a gift card to Black 13, the tattoo shop in town, because he's gotten tattoos from them before and he loves it there. And so I got this fake tattoo. It's my signature of his name, and I put it on my butt. And I went out one night with a girlfriend and came home and I put a bandage on it. And like I looked it up like the after, because I will never get a tattoo. I will never. Speaking about bodies, I have a clotting disorder. I don't know how my body will react to it, and so, and I'm also really flighty and indecisive. So I'm just, it's not my jam.
Be like, I want a bird. Why did I get a bird?
That's something I might do on like my 50th birthday. But like, just like if everything's going good and there's like,
it might be 50,
and like there's like blood disorder stuff is doing well, but like I've just always had a health scare with it, and because my body rejects everything. And so I had this tattoo of my handwriting, like signing his name on my butt, and he was like, I was changing purposely, like in front of him, and I was like, oh, don't do it. He's like, what's wrong with your butt? What's the bandage? Like the next morning, I was like, oh my gosh.
No.
Last night was so crazy. So like we went downtown, and I totally played it up, and we were going on a boat ride that day, and like my bottoms like cut in enough, so my plan was like to take the bandage off on the boat and like pretend that it couldn't get any sun.
Surprise.
And like, but like, and then like his name be on it. He was like, show me, what is that? And he was so mad. He ripped the bandage off, and it was red because it, like, there is a chemical reaction, and so it was red, and it was a little raised. It looked real, and he was like, oh my gosh, Kayla, oh my gosh. And I was like, well, yeah, and then I gave him his birthday present. I was like, now you can get mine, like, matching. You write my name and like, and he's like, I'm not doing it.
He's like, psych.
He's like, I'm not.
That is so
I'm like,
funny.
are you kidding me? For years,
It's
we
hard
said,
pass.
Right?
he's like, for years, he's like, I didn't think you'd ever do it. He's like, I'm mad. I'm like, you're mad? And he's like, I'm mad. I can't believe you do that. I'm like, and then like I started crying and I was like, it's fake, but you said
You make me mad now.
Yeah, I was like, no. And then he was like, well, if you really wanted to do it, I would do it. I'm like, no, it's over. It's fake. Like,
Oh my god.
but
Do y'all remember when
Be a
Kayla was
fly
spray tanning me and she stopped and went upstairs,
oh,
used
I
her
know what
cricket
you
and
said.
cut out Adrian's
Yeah.
name and
I
put it
took
on my
mine.
ass and spray tanned me like Playboy bunny sticker style?
Stop.
No, it was
So
great.
she had
Adrian's
Adrian's
name on her
name.
butt.
Yeah.
I literally took my cricket and I wrote Adrian's name in
Like,
vinyl
Is that how
letters.
Evelyn became Evelyn?
No, but
And
that was before. That was after. But still.
In vinyl letters, I stuck them on your bum. And
That's true friendship right there.
I like literally like my face is in your crotch.
I still have the videos of like of us that we sent to Adrian where you're like slow mo.
Oh, which is
Or
crazy.
the spray
Y'all
tanning.
were really good friends. We're the
I-
best friends.
I actually do want to ask you guys something though before, like, just
We have to
to
wrap
kind of
up,
like
yeah.
finish up this this whole body thing. I feel like much like when you become a mom and people say like sleep when baby sleeps, like that's so simple. Like your baby doesn't need to be pushed around while they sleep.
Or you don't have to like pay bills or
Yeah.
do chores
Yeah.
or
I
dishes
just
or
feel like-
anything.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
just feel like there's all these unrealistic sayings where you're like, oh great, thanks for the advice. And I feel like saying that about postpartum
No,
body
you're
issues
so-
is kind of the same. Like, we'll just have perspective. We'll just know your body made a baby. Like,
Yeah.
we know
Wah,
that,
wah.
right? We do know that, but that doesn't necessarily make us feel good in our skin day to day when we're in this space. So with you guys, like, I do feel like for me, it took time. It took really like focusing on strength over body, what my body looked like, and
Yeah.
like, but for you guys right now, because there are some people who will watch or whatever and be like, those girls feel like they have body image issues,
Yeah.
because we all, like, when we put ourselves out there, we get that kind of shame. But I truly think it's important to note that, like, no matter where anyone is, we all are worthy of feeling how we feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what right now makes you feel better? Like if you're having like that like what right now are you like, I feel good, like I'm feeling myself right now, is it like getting up and dressed and makeup, or like what would be the thing that makes you feel good right now in the phase you're in?
Spray tans.
That's a
like
perfect answer.
I can't help it, but
yeah.
like there is just something about getting ready. Like I can get ready on a Thursday and look at myself and be like, oh, you old hag, you. And then like I'll spray myself. So I have this little like set of sheets. It's like a little like sleep sack that like of sheets that I spray myself at night.
And spray tan sleep sack?
Spray tan sleep sack.
So it doesn't get on real sheets.
So it doesn't get on my real sheets?
Yeah. I love it.
And I know
actually.
Fabulous.
That's legit.
It's
I think you should make those and sell them and market them.
So it's a set of twin sheets.
It's a sleep sack for adults and spray
So
tans.
it's a set of twin sheets that I've sewn together.
Sun sack.
Sun sack.
Tan sack.
Tan
Why are you
sack.
saying sack so much?
A tan and a sack. I don't know. But it's a set of twin sheets that I just like What?
I was just like, if John decides to come and like get busy with you and he's like,
He can't.
I don't
He knows.
He can't.
No. This is a whole thing. Maybe I shouldn't share this. But he knows. Like when I get my spray gun out, he's like, "Oh,
you're gonna be in Sanzag."
Yo, I've nursed my babies and given them like a around their mouth.
No, but like he makes it a point to be like, "Can we make this happen before you spray yourself?"
That's
like
hilarious.
he knows the whole thing. But yeah, I literally took a set of twin sheets. And I just I left it open, so it's literally a sleeping bag, but it's sheets, so it's not like hot, and I can like move around in them. Maybe I should sell them, like who knows?
We've just started your new business right now.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But spray tans, like.
Hi, my name is Tanned Mom.
Hi, my name is Tanned Mom. And there's nothing wrong with like embracing pale skin. Actually, one of our friends, Jessie, she is like someone who has the most gorgeous, like
beautiful
porcelain,
pale
skin. And she's like, ew, I'll never do a spray tan. I remember like having that conversation with her.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
she's like,
no. So I don't think everyone needs one at all. But like,
no, but
because I'm just thinking like she looks amazing.
We're not saying everyone needs a spray tan.
Spray tans for me, like if I put a spray tan on, like when I do my makeup and like hair the next day, I'm like, okay, I can walk out of the house.
Yeah.
Also, I am one of those weird people like PJ that I love to get up at 5 and work out. Like that is my thing. Y'all know that.
You get up even on vacation at 5 o'clock.
And I'm like ready to go, and I love it, and that makes me feel so good.
Well, also as someone who loves you, and we always keep it real with each other, right? You have got to stop the negative self-talk. Like when you say things like, I'm fat, I'm whatever, I'm a duff, but words have power. Yeah. Like when you voice that and you say that, exactly. And it's true though. Yeah. Like when you say negative things about yourself, it's like this self-fulfilling thing where it makes you actually feel more that way.
You know what's actually crazier too is I thought about this. Only because I dated someone who made me feel a little bit terrible about myself sometimes. And I remember him seeing a picture of me being a Hooters girl. And he was like, what are you going to tell your daughter when she sees this photo? And I was like, that I was hot.
That I rocked the shorts and made great tips and loved my body.
Exactly.
And
I'm pushing it back to you. The only thing that I'm actually terrified of River ever knowing is that I didn't like my body or I didn't like myself. I don't care if she sees sexy photos of me. I don't care if she sees the reality show version of me. I care that I don't ever want her to be like in those very culpable years of her figuring her own life out and her hearing, oh, my mom also didn't like her boobs. Oh, my mom also thought she was fat. Oh, my mom also didn't like the way that her one side looked, or my mom also really thought that she didn't look good. I don't want her to relate to the part of me that I felt negative about.
Right. So turning it on you, what do you do every day? What do you do? Like, what's something that makes you feel good?
A dance party.
Yes. I love
I know.
We should have one right now.
River like does this thing and like I feel like a little low. I'll come in and I'll be like, let's dance. Let's. It's just now she gets up and she's like, yeah.
Oh. It makes more and more sense why we're friends.
Yes, it's so true.
Just a dance in the kitchen, just rocking it out, just throwing it, turning Sonos all the way up to my neighbor's here.
I love that.
I love that.
Mine is makeup. Like I've had maybe 5 days in the last 2 years that I have to have some makeup on. I feel whole.
Yeah.
It's like usually like
you
just
get up
mascara.
and get ready every day.
I do get ready, and I don't shower every morning. I bathe at night, like I take baths at night. So I get up and I've got like contacts, teeth, hair, deodorant, makeup down to probably 7 minutes. It's like,
you know what's weird is I'm almost the opposite. You and I were talking about this, where I think my thing I do for myself is I completely just get rid of clothes that make me feel unhappy in them. You know how you have those
and
clothes that
you
you
to me.
Well, no, I don't even give them. If like there are some things that look good on you that don't look good on me. But if there's something that just like, it's almost like that Marie Kondo thing where it's like it doesn't bring me joy.
Yep.
But it's the opposite. Even if it's like a random workout top or something, and I'm just like, every time I put this
You
on,
don't love it.
I don't love it. I don't feel cute in this.
yeah.
And so I'm like, I'm not going to put something on that makes me feel uncute.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
even because that happens. Where you're like,
I respect that,
bought this, I should wear it. And I actually am a little the opposite, Jen, where sometimes the more effort I put in, like even with being on camera now, I feel like, and today I was just like, whatever, I'm gonna do my makeup how I do it, because I'll try too hard and then I feel self-conscious, which makes me feel less.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
yeah.
all right, we got this, guys. We're gonna
Okay.
our goals. We're gonna set ourselves up to feel good about ourselves moving forward.
Yeah,
We got
exactly.
this.
Britt, thanks for joining us to talk
Thanks
about
for
this
having
today.
me.
Yeah.
I truly believe that you, and I think you know this, but maybe you don't know like the actual impact that your realness has. I mean, it had an impact on us as soon as we met you.
I know.
and
We
started
were
to-
like, you're gonna be our friend whether you like
Yeah.
it or not.
yeah,
You don't have a choice.
yeah. It's just like I think it should be a mission for every mom where you're like, you know, it's not just to be real either, but like you do this where it's like you're lifting up the people around you, and it's like what. The people around you are a lot of who form the way you feel about yourself.
Yeah.
And then you're doing that like on a bigger platform too. And I don't know. I just feel like I want you to know like how impactful what you're doing
Thanks.
is. It's really like awesome. I'm like gonna get teary again. But I'm very happy that you're in our life.
I'm glad you guys are in my life. I feel like this is like my therapy session.
That's how we
It
feel.
You know,
Yes.
like I come in, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, great. Like I honestly don't know what I would do. I mean, I think I've called each one of you at some point with a breakdown, and now that's like the most wild thing is like a year ago I didn't even really know you guys.
That's
and now
true.
I'm like,
So
I've
strange.
leaned in and leaned on you guys a lot more than even some of my best friends. So thank you,
Of
really-
course.
And thanks for like opening up about this
Yeah.
with us too. We love you.
mom life.
Okay, so
Mom
go
life.
follow Brittainy at Brittainy Taylor. Our studio is brought to you by
Yard sale
USA.
USA.
That's right. It's amazing. I always say it's like overstuffed.
And we
It's
have
like,
a really fun gadget coming to our studio.
Do you?
That's right.
Oh yeah.
We do.
Can't
We're gonna
wait.
bring it to events.
Well, thank you
Go
everybody
gadget.
who listened and everybody who watched. And if you would take a second to subscribe and like and follow. I don't know, what are all the
All
things
the
now?
stuff on
All things,
YouTube.
like, like us,
Subscribe,
follow
like,
us,
follow,
poke us,
review.
friend us.
Yes.
Oh, guys.
And if you're
Yeah.
Poke, remember Poke?
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh,
This
that's
is
right.
top 5.
Sometimes I just accidentally send a giant like shark head or something.
Top 5, that's right.
Well, top 5 and then became top 8 because people got upset. Was it top 10?
Oh my
Where
God. I
did
don't even
All right,
remember.
we love you guys.
Bye, Tom.
Bye.